Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. So glad to have you here. I have 58 subscribers. And I'm not gonna cry. So thank you all for that. If you do like the video, please like. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's so vast, so don't take offense if it's not for you. You know, either I'll see you on the next time, or there's tons of us out there. Go find some. They're amazing. So, okay. I'm just working in service of spirit. That's it. That's all. Trying to shine a little light. So, however you want to shine your light, you can feel the courage to go out and do that. Okay. Leo. What does the universe want Leo to know about this full blood moon eclipse in Taurus? Ooh, Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So the whole purpose behind these readings is the shadow work. The eclipses are oftentimes like what you don't see coming, like it's hidden, and that you can't really tell what's coming. So that's what the eclipse energy is kind of about. Like things are being hidden right now, but they're about to be exposed. Karma's clearing big time with this eclipse specifically. So those types of energies are coming in hot and heavy. And this is going to be the last eclipse of this eclipse season for another 6 months. So this is deep shadow work that's going to be purged up and out for you to work with. And all I'm trying to do is assist those energies in coming in for you so you get a better grasp on this situation instead of being whopped upside the head with it. I hope that makes sense. Okay, then you got the Fool in reverse. This is I call this my boho deck, but it's not called Light Seers. It's my Light Seers. 4 of Cups. Not saying no to, not saying no. Not saying no. Not saying no. So with the Wheel of Fortune here, I'm getting like, look at your natal chart. It's not a bad idea. I got the Seed of Life here with the Fool. And then I've got this little, it looks like a token of some sort. It's a very, oh God, I want to say Celtic or Viking. I can't tell for sure. Either way, these wheels here are, and then you've got the bowls. So these wheels here are screaming at me, look at your natal chart, and also look at whoever's bringing this in for you. Look at their chart. So if you go to astro-seek.com, there's like you can get your personal natal chart reading, which is just, you read it yourself. You don't get a reading. But there's a love compatibility thing. I use that for all my relationships, by the way. It works pretty slick. It gives you a heads up where you're gonna like come together like this, and then if the energies are right or if they're not right. So I'm getting, look at your natal chart as well as theirs and how they compare and contrast, and see where your difficulties might be. It's also very, very enlightening when it comes to understanding yourself. Probably the best shadow work trip I've had to make. That's really, and mirror work and power work. So it's like the Hydra, oh God, I can't remember that thing, but it's working on the shadow self, the mirror self, and the power self all in one with the little ego. It's like a circle with a dot in the middle and then a squiggle, 3 squiggles coming out of it. Anyway, yeah. So it's all 3 of those things all at once. So everybody talks about shadow work, but nobody talks about mirror work or power work. Anyway, so heave ho, Leo. That's what I'm getting for you. I got the Emperor. And The Devil in reverse. Telling the... And I've got the Queen of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, the High Priestess, and then the Tower. Again, I feel like I'm reading for two different people. Yeah, okay. So, this might spark something close to this, right? You got the Emperor and then your addictions, your... So addiction is just numbing the pain, numbing the trauma, numbing whatever hole is in your life. So when we're talking about this energy, it's an look at, he's got sparks, fire coming out of his hair. He's just the illuminator. He's not here. He's not here to corrupt you. He's showing you where your holes in your life are and asking you to bring the lantern, light bearer, bringer of dawn, asking you to bring your light source to this particular issue. So I interpret this way different than everybody else. I know. So, and see, he's got like these ghost strings tied to this man with his hand in his lap, and he's asking you to reach out and look at it, because he's extending that hand, like, come with me if you want to see where it needs to be illuminated. And that doesn't mean you pick up the dang whatever it is. Doesn't mean you go off and do anything. It means you shed a light on this. So whatever it is, you conquered it though. You're like, okay, I see it already. I've had experience with this before, so I'm gonna keep my torch over here. Thanks. Then you got Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, and High Priestess in reverse. So either being stingy, emotionally clingy, like codependent, and you're keeping secrets, or somebody else is doing this to you, which is going to cause this. John. Look at poor little squirrels. Like, no, not my darling home where I keep my stash of nuts. But there's butterflies here. Butterflies signal transformation. Metamorphosis. Dang. Okay. So again, I'm going to have to bring this up because it keeps tugging at me. It feels like there's two realities coming together here. So maybe you're fragmented. Maybe, I don't know if you believe in that dimensional reality thing, but I do. So, which means I have to speak on it. So you might have people, places, things outside of you that are coming in for integration. You might have different aspects of yourself that are either living in different paradigms, different dimensions, different space-times, different quantum fields. Whatever it is that kind of resonates with you, that's like you but not you here, it's you in another space. Or fragment of you, or an aspect of you, or maybe your opposite. These are two very different energies. So if you haven't seen The Dark Crystal, maybe you should go watch it, because it's all about sketchies and mystics integrating, right? Okay. Dang! Leo? It's going to be okay, though. It's not integration. It's actually quite healing. It's not painful at all. At all. In fact, it's liberating. It's almost like there's a little child in you that, like, just grows up. It's cool. Okay, so we've got 61 for a sigil card. All right, Leo, let's dig deep into that shadow work, see where we can grow through this particular. So, part of making that bird fly, I'm working on making like a painting so I can just show it to people rather than explaining it via words because it's kind of stinking difficult. So, you know the staff, your spine, and then there's the white snake, and then the black snake that spiral up it and have little wings. So that's how you get that spiral up, is holding the pain and the pleasure at the same time. So holding polar opposites at the same time. You feel a whole plethora of emotions all at the same time. And that helps that integration process happen. So this starts working at a more optimal level, and the bird, so to speak, takes flight. I hope that makes sense. It's like it's the symbol for the medical field model thingy. What up, Sophie? So you have 61. I do this every time. Here's the card, guys. Okay, sorry. Okay, so what's up, girl? Okay. Yes, son. Who's a good kitten yours? Are we done? Can we go? Okay. Temporality. You have drawn the sigil. What is preventing your progression is that you are either too attached to the temporal in general or to an aspect of the temporal. This has caused you to lose sight of the bigger picture, which includes much more than the temporal world. You might be looking for a solution that does not exist in the temporal world. That is like looking for a lost key, but being convinced that the key is somewhere in one specific room, and never finding it because the key you are looking for is not even in that room. So this is what they mean when they say the cards never lie. Okay. Okay, so the temporal world is a world of purely physical. It is particles, body, color, shape, soma, physical health, physical aspect of sex, money, houses, places, things, the physical aspect of blood, of food, plants, people, pets, possessions, etc. It is the realm of the material. If you have drawn this sigil, you may be so invested in the physical and probable and rational, and even potentially the type of science that is purely focused on physicality and those same things, that you have forgotten that there is more to the universe than meets the eye. The physical world may only seem secular, but it isn't. The physical world is not separate from spirit, it is a manifestation of spirit. You are denying the majority of the universe and actually the majority of yourself if you have invested in this way. Because of this, you might be more skeptical than you should be. By closing down your mind, you become unable to experience other potentials and other realities. You become selectively ignorant. Don't get hurt. It's okay. We all go through it. We're all like blah blah at one point. Don't judge yourself. We're not judging you. Nobody's judging you. Trust me. It's going to be okay. Perhaps this sigil is calling you to open-mindedness and even faith. To have faith is to have positive confidence or trust in something. It is to think something is true even without proof. The famous philosopher Bernard Russell once said, "There is evidence. No one speaks of faith, quote unquote. We do not speak of faith that 2 and 2 are 4 or that the earth is round. We only speak of faith when we wish to substitute emotion for evidence." Unfortunately for Bernard Russell, he is forgetting something. The first person who believed the earth was round enough to be motivated to set out to prove that it was round, had to go on faith before there was proof to back up that belief. Many people believe that faith is the absence of doubt. This could not be further from the truth. We only think that faith is absence of doubt when we confuse faith with knowing. To doubt is to have uncertainty about something. Faith cannot exist in the universe of certainty because certainty is knowing. Faith is not required when we know. And so, if doubt is uncertainty, doubt is a necessary condition of faith. If we take doubt a step further and let doubt mean what it means emotionally to most people, to doubt is to consider something unlikely, and this is to act as if you know something that you do not know. It is to bring a sense of certainty to a universe of uncertainty. For this reason, doubt is the flip side of faith. If you have drawn this sigil, you may also be suffering because your attachment to some aspect of the temporal. Perhaps it is your social status, someone else's success, or state of being in the physical world relative to temporal matters. The way your house looks, the way your body looks, your job, paying the bills, things you possess or want to possess, your house, your city, your culture, your physical health, the physical aspect of self, and so on. This sigil has come to tell you that the answer you seek does not lie in the physical, and that you are being limited by your fixation on some aspect of the physical. It is like being so focused on the tree that you forget the forest. The thoughts causing your over-identification with the aspect of physical must be questioned. It is time to invest your focus on the higher perspective truth that comes with the awareness that transcends physical life, space, and time at all the things in it. Holy Jesus. Leo, I'm gonna have to, I can't, okay, I guess you just get your own video. Alright. I'm really not good at this whole. Okay. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this YouTube thing so I can freaking like make an hour-long video. Because apparently that's what I need to do. Okay. So, Leo. I don't think you're ignorant. I just think you, like the majority of us, like, you know, 3 years ago, if somebody would have tried to explain different dimensions to me, I would have been like, look, I appreciate that you probably went on a few mushroom trips or something, and now you're trying to explain that mushroom trip, which is very personal to you, to me. And I'm just not here for it. And I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. Because at one time, I had no desire. I had no want, need to understand any of this, right? Because it did not serve me in my physical reality. Which is basically what they just described in that card. I hear you. I understand where you're coming from entirely. And now I get why I had that. So I had so many people around me being like, you know, and I was like, you're cute. So you don't need to grasp all of this all at once. I'm saying that this eclipse is coming through for you in possibly this way. So if it doesn't resonate, take it with a grain of salt. But I'm going to tell you a little secret. The seed's already been planted. So when you ask your brain a question, it has to come up with an answer. And since I have so long, I'm going to rant with you. So, how do I explain this? So we understand time and space in a linear fashion, right? So let's start with the months of the year. We have 12, right? It's 12 zodiac signs. 12 disciples. Yada, 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 right? And then some people say there's 12 dimensions, but there's actually 13. It's just most beings on the planet are between 1 and 12. And the ones that come from the 13th usually get vetted off for being different. So if you can understand that if you can get maybe a model of the solar system, so we are not frozen, just rotating around the sun. The sun is also moving through the galaxy, right? So all of this is, we're not just spiraling through space on the earth just like this around the sun. We're moving around the sun and also all the way through the galaxy. Okay? That's kind of the best physical description of, excuse me, I apologize, time-space reality that we have. So it's a multitude of all these different moving parts. It's not a straight line with a start and an end. And I know it gets complicated, but if you can start to understand that there's all these moving parts and they're moving all the way around the universe and all the way around the earth, and the sun is also spiraling through space. You know, if you want to look up history, look up the history of the Mayans, look up Stonehenge, look up ancient Egypt. Matthew Lacoste has a really good book, and I just loaned it out. It's called The Stage of Time by Matthew Lacoste. I highly recommend it if you're looking to kind of explore that timeline period and how things work, because we like to think the planet, you know, each has its own little separate whatchamacallit thing on it, but archaeologists have discovered that there's pyramids all over the planet, and that they were built kind of in the same period of time. So if you maybe want to explore those ideas and concepts and just start reaching for them, you don't have to grasp everything at once. This takes time. But it'd probably be easier for you because it's going to be a little bit more in a different, because we just moved into Aquarius as a whole collective. So things are going to be clearer, faster, more intellectual. So people confuse intellect and emotion. They think they're two separate things, and they're not. This can't be in one state and this in a different. So these feed each other, basically. I call it the 3 of cups, because you have the 2 amygdalas, which are basically cups that are holding amygdalas, Latin for almond. They're holding 2 little glowing almonds, hence the word shadow work. And then you have your receptors, your hippocampus, your learning, your messengers, your archangels. Angels, the word angel just means messenger. Everybody thinks it's like the divine deity thing. No, it's just a messenger. So I call the hippocampus the angels, the archangels, because it makes like horns that go down and then feed into your spine. So it's the messengers on what the rest of the body is supposed to be doing and how it's supposed to react. And then you have your cup and your heart. And when you merge the 3, you get the 3 of cups, right? Which is coming together, right? But that's your throat chakra, is meeting, right? When you think of 3 of cups, you're not only drinking, you're taking in information, but you're also speaking and conversing with other people about trials, tribulations, triumphs of the tribe and whatnot. So that's my interpretation of the 3 of cups. So yep, it's different than everybody else's, and that's okay. So what I did that for was just to kind of show you an example of like how you can take something really cool and amazing like tarot and just take it in a whole new direction, right? One of my favorite human beings that ever existed was Plato. And he not so much because I love what he was interested in, but he took his Socrates' work and just blew it up in amazing ways. I mean, that's the epitome of leaving your life's work to somebody and they just make it grow, right? So that's one of my favorite things about Plato is his capacity to take something and expand on it and implement it. So if you can take this little teeny tiny nugget that I've given you in this 26-minute video and just expand on it. You don't have to take it in the direction I want you to take it. You don't have to take it in the directions Joe Schmo thinks you should take it. You don't have to. Nope. You come inside, get with spirit, and ask yourself, how do I want to deal with this? How do I want to approach this? Do I even want to approach this? Is this a waste of my time? And that's okay. That's totally okay. I'm not going to be butthurt. So, understanding that when we are taking in information, we need to be checking in with our inner source power, our inner child. Why am I waving? Sorry, I'll put the lighter down now. Okay, so we need to be talking about and thinking about and processing through everything that's coming in, right? We got to make sure it resonates and that it sticks. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's not going to become a part of yourself. So until you can start getting a grasp on this, you might need to twist it and turn it and develop it in a different way so that you can hold space for it, right? In turn, when you come to that space of understanding this, you now have that key, right? You're holding that key of information that like-minded, souled, spirit-hearted people can now take from you because you have done the work to get yourself there. And you can take that, which I maybe didn't explain very well for you, and say, I can do this in a different way, in a better way, so that people can comprehend, right? So then you take these ideas and these concepts, ingest them in a way that makes sense to you and that resonates and that you're bringing to the whole of you. And if you need to translate that in a different way, you need to kind of add some things, subtract the things, look at it from a different perspective, then bring those lessons forward to the rest or the collective or whatever. So when we meditate, we're connecting to the collective, right? So when you're doing this inner work and inner processing, and then you connect through meditation to the collective, you're bringing those downloads and the processes with them. So it's going to be super beneficial for not just you and the people around you. It's going to be super beneficial that when you are doing your meditation, you're doing your writing, you're getting in flow. Whatever makes you flow. So people think that meditation is sitting there going, oh, it's not. Some people, I meditate when I do dishes or take a shower or whatever the heck it is, right? So understanding that when you get in flow of spirit, you're connecting to the collective, okay? And so the more you work on yourself, the more we get to benefit as well. So just something to think about, Leo. Holy bejesus. Happy eclipse.